I went to Guatemala for Winterim, which was super incredible. When I was there, we all really could see God working in us in a really concrete way, which is not usually what we see in Grand Rapids. And I could see how prayer affects us in a really direct way, and that really changed my outlook on my faith, and it made me grow in a new way and made me connect with my friends and classmates in a completely different way because we prayed for each other in front of each other and knew all the needs that we had, and we could pray for each other, and that was a really cool experience. So.
But the cool thing is that you can see so many people's talents shown from the Lord, and how they thought they would use it a certain way, but then right at the last minute the Lord would say, no, your hands are used for this, you're going to be great for this is your personality, this is how you're going to help people in life.
And I saw students have the opportunity in many ways to broaden and deepen their understanding of God's kingdom. One thing we learned about was that Grand Rapids is made up of many, many different communities. And each one of these communities has its own unique history, its own story.
And one way we saw God through that was when we gave our testimonies, because it really helped each other just open up, and it was a really powerful night that we did that.
At the end, when we were done, we were packing up, and some guy from Guatemala didn't know much English, I don't think at least, and he came up to our pastor and told us, because of the testimony that I gave, he was an alcoholic, and he was struggling with alcoholism, and he was a brother and a father, and he told the pastor that we had to speak that he wanted to come to God and he wanted help with his problem, and he knows that he needs help, and to me that is where I really saw God.
And I got to meet with different committee members of different things. Like I met with Global Outreach, I met with Community Outreach, Benevolence, Kids Hope USA, and seeing some of the members of the church and their passion for helping other people and seeing how God could use them to make our world a better place. I just had no idea the amount of work and volunteering that went on in my church, and it was just amazing to see all of that.
For a long time, I've not really been really good at doing the school thing. It's not really like what I'm good at. Like, I'm not good at waking up at 6:30 in the morning and going to class for 8 hours, sitting at the desk. I need to be touching things, I need to be learning new things, I need to be on the go. Being able to wake up at 8 and being able to drive to work and be part of a team was something that, honestly, it made me feel very rewarded.
And then like the little kids coming up to you, giving you high fives, like, you guys paint that? I was like, yeah, we painted that. And they were like, oh, that's so cool. Where's that going? And be like, because we'd paint in the cafeteria, and we'd have a big 12-foot tiger on the ground, and where's that going? Oh, it's going right there. Oh, I can't wait to see that go up.
Yeah, that's great.
As many people believe that the business world is dark and businessmen are all selfish and materialistic, this course gave me a totally different perspective. From the course, I learned that business can be used in many great ways. It helps serve the community, and it also creates a large number of job opportunities for the unemployed. Business is one of the gifts created by God for serving our world better. I'm very glad that I learned those from the course I took, and Winterim to me is a great experience.
In Costa Rica, I really saw the kingdom of God just through our group and our group dynamic. Like, you have these 900-pound football players and Japanese foreign exchange student and like these crazy soccer girls and a banjo player. And like, it's not supposed to work. Like, we're not supposed to get along together, but it just did, and got the chance to meet our guides, the people we were staying at their houses, and their just appreciation for family life and for simple things that we don't even notice, like running water and nature and chickens that you eat for dinner, just tiny things, simple things. They just took so much joy in that, and I think God really calls us to take joy in little things, even more so than mountains and rivers. He wants us to take joy in people and little tiny things.
We saw the kingdom of God by looking at particular people, people's lives, people like Mother Teresa, St. Francis of Assisi. People who dedicated their life to serving the least of these, kind of trying to living into Jesus' words. Whatever you did to one of the least of these, you've done unto me. A pretty cool thing I think that we did as a class, 4 different days we went to a retirement community and just did pretty basic stuff with them. Made a pancake breakfast for them. We cleaned behind the refrigerators. We one group even changed bed sheets and flipped the mattress around, just stuff that they can't necessarily do. And in some ways, I think those are the least of these.
We always talk about community at Christian High and how it's so great, and this trip was built around just community and growing a relationship with God. You know, God really used that as something for getting to me and allowing me to fit in and everybody to fit in. And I thought that was just really cool because it was a sense of just ease, be still, and let God do what He wants to do in that trip. And
there are many fractals. This one happens to be Mandelbrot's fractal. You can zoom in and in and in and always see something new and exciting. When we were exploring fractals, I couldn't help but think of the song, "O Lord my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the worlds your hands have made, how great thou art."
I went to Spain and had the opportunity to meet with a bunch of local students learning how to speak English, and I think all of us were super scared to be thrown into a room with a bunch of people that barely knew English and we didn't know Spanish that well, but it was cool to see how God equipped us with the ability to speak with them, even though they were from across the world.
I worked with a lot of kids who had disabilities and problems with their speech, and this internship was really God's way of saying to me, this is what you're going to do with the rest of your life, because I just absolutely loved it, and I loved following them around, and I loved the work that they did and the progress that they made with those kids, and talking and physical abilities was just so huge in that 2-week time frame.